Hey everyone, Thordan Smash here, and we finally have the new anime thematic guided event, and with it we had the trailer, the actual event, and the new LTM. And although it does seem to have a lot of great features, it does have some issues that will need to be addressed by Respawn before it ends, along with some upgrades and changes, and also even a little bit of talk about the Apex Legends Netflix show. We're going to cover all that. We're also going to give out 45 bucks. All you gotta do is like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Without further ado, let's talk about Apex. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start off with some general news about Apex Legends. We do know that yesterday we got the anime collection event. However, not everyone was able to enjoy it right off the bat. Some of you may have noticed if you're on PlayStation that it would not let you into the game. That PlayStation was down, it was not working. A lot of people thought this was actually the Apex Legends update, just so everyone is aware. The update came out just fine. It was actually PlayStation itself that was not working at the time. However, that led to another problem because the Apex coin glitch is still going out there, and a lot of players have dealt with the issue of they can't actually buy Apex coins. Well, they can, they actually end up spending the money on them, but then they aren't given the coins in game, which is a huge issue because if you pay for something, you should probably get it. Speaking of which, a lot of players that are newer to the game actually posted that they're kind of taken aback by the monetization practices found within Apex Legends. And a lot of people have also noticed that they have actually, for whatever reason, increased the chances of getting white, or blue within the thematic packs. There's been nothing officially stated by Respawn or in patch notes that this is the case, but a lot of players seem to be complaining about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had tweaked a little bit on how the loot mechanics work for thematic packs. We also do now have the armed and dangerous shoddy snipers mode back. I've actually really been enjoying this game mode, but there are a couple issues with it. Players have pointed out that Rampart still gets her minigun as it is her ultimate ability. However, it doesn't really seem to fit within the meta of this game mode, as everyone else has shotgun snipers, and here's this person running around with a turret absolutely devastating in the mid-range. This likely will not be patched out before this event ends, but it is a little bit of oversight by Respawn into how certain legends would work on this game mode since the last time it was introduced, especially now that Rampart can actually move around with her turret rather than when it was just stationary before she got buffed. But speaking of that armed and dangerous mode, it is really fun, like I said, to play, but it would have been really cool to actually see them implement it and combine it with a different game mode we've never played before. We went over before that killing time was in the files and it was slated for season 13 at some point, but for some reason it was never actually implemented. Maybe they never actually figured out how to fix it 100%, but it would have been a unique and interesting way to play this game mode rather than the same thing that we've seen before. Speaking of weird choices that Respawn and Apex Legends have been making, I'm sure most of you by now have seen the absolutely fire anime event trailer, and this one is probably one of my favorite trailers I've ever had for an event. Unfortunately, it launched 1 hour before the event, so people didn't really get a chance to soak it in and talk about it a lot on social media or with their friends, because right after it dropped, they went right into playing the game. I don't know why they're switching it up, but it would have been nice to get this over the weekend to really get hyped up for the event. Speaking of which, if you watched the trailer, you might have seen the fact that Skulltown is actually in the background. That's where the setting is. This is foreshadowing the fact that Skulltown will be returning on the Kings Canyon map for season 14, as I've gone over in previous videos. But now let's go ahead and talk about some good news, because with that anime event trailer, a lot of hype has been generated about how an Apex Legends TV show would be absolutely amazing. We've had a lot of references to it in the past. Someone actually took the Arcane intro from Netflix and made it Apex Legends themed, and a developer said that he had some conversations to follow up on come January, and since the fact that he said follow up, it means that there was actually a conversation beforehand about some kind of TV show. At least that's what it implies. We actually do know from press releases that EA is actually looking to sell itself. Right now, the major companies that they're in talks with are Disney, Apple, and Amazon, all of which own major streaming services. And one of the big pickups by owning EA would not only be their game development and all that, but the intellectual properties that they could make with the licenses that EA holds. There's always been a lot of fan-made projects. In fact, this one was made by Jimmy Edward Films, who's a friend of mine and a great animator who did a short cinematic for the Revenant Gaiden skin. And this just goes to show that if one of those major companies did merge or take over EA, that the fan support for a TV show is definitely there. Let's hope this comes sooner than later, not just for an Apex Legends TV show, but because we would actually have some different management than EA. Let me know down below, how are you guys enjoying the Gaiden thematic event so far? Do you like the content within the limited time mode? And how hyped would you be for an upcoming Apex Legends Netflix show, or anything to do with an anime and Apex Legends in general? And until next time, Legends, keep slaying in the Outlands, and I'll see you out there.